System configurations. Setting of clocking schedule 0, normal working hours. First, please check that you are now specifying clocking schedule 0. Next, specify the types of days in the week. For example, if the company does not work on Saturday and Sunday, under day type, select Sunday and Saturday to be rest day or off day. Next, key in the working hours of the company for all the days. For example, in time is 900 hours. Break time is 12:30 hours. Resume time is 13:30 hours. And out time is 1800 hours. OT time is 1900 hours. And done time is 2300 hours. You may input a time interval if you want to pay different OT rates for workers. Example: for a worker that works from 2200 hours to 0 hours, they could get a different OT rate. Input 2200 hours to 0 hours in the column. Please specify the time interval if you want to have rates differential for overtime. For this clocking schedule, you can enter the description as normal working hours. Next, click on Tab Range. This part is recommended to be left as default. However, here you can specify the maximum time that a particular clocking falls into the time slot. For example, if I want clocking until 12 p.m. to be entered into the In slot, I would enter 1200 hours into the In column. This means that all clocking from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. will be considered as In. Next, click on Tab Settings. The first option is to allow grace period for late in. For example, if I enter 15 minutes in this column, anyone who clocks in up to 15 minutes later from the official in time, he or she will not be considered late in the attendance sheet. The second option is to allow a grace period for early out. For example, if I enter 15 minutes in this column, anyone who clocks out up to 15 minutes earlier from the official out time, he or she will not be considered early out at the attendance sheet. The third option is to set minimum time must work to qualify for overtime. For example, if I set it to 60 minutes, overtime will only be calculated when he or she worked more than 60 minutes continuously after out time. This overtime will also include the first 60 minutes. However, if he or she works less than 60 minutes continuously after out time, he or she will not be given overtime. The fourth option is to set the number of hours allowed to be claimed for overtime in a day. This is to be left as default. The fifth option is to round up or round down total working hour time. For example, 15 minutes. If my total working hour is 8 hours and 10 minutes, it will automatically be rounded up to 8 hours and 15 minutes. The sixth option is to round up or round down total overtime hours. For example, minus 15 minutes. If my total overtime hour is 4 hours and 10 minutes, it will automatically be rounded down to 4 hours. The seventh option is to define the time duration for flexi lunch or flexi dinner. This is only applicable if flexi hour clocking is used. Otherwise, leave empty. The eighth option is to select whether you want to exclude lunch or dinner hour from the total working hour. If yes, just select yes at the checkbox. The ninth option is to select whether you want to enable calculation of overtime before in time. For example, this is only needed when you have afternoon shifts and users want to come in to work as overtime in the morning. However, for this clocking schedule 0, which is normal working hours, we do not need to enter any value. We are now finished with setting the normal working hours shift time. Click Close button. Next, click on Apply to save the setting.